Hey, good morning, friends. Today is Friday, July the 14th, 2025, and the time now is 7:50 a.m. Today is also a historic day because today is the Bastille Day in France. So if you are a French citizen, if you are a French permanent resident, or whatever it is said to be in France, happy Bastille Day. Now, friends, I want to bring something very interesting, a news which I found out yesterday. The former Nigerian president, Buhari, passed. So, Buhari is a very interesting character. In Nigeria, Buhari has been for the past few years, since he became the president of Nigeria. He has been like the laughing stock of the Nigerian society. He is often made fun of by Nigerians because under Buhari's presidency, too many things happen in Nigeria that Nigerian people are still discontent about. Now the fact that he passed, I don't know how the Nigerians would talk about it. But Buhari has been a very interesting character. Whether we are talking about Nigerian athletes, whether we are talking about Nigerian celebrities, film stars, and also social media stars, personalities such as Emanuela, Success, and Mark Angel, among the many talented people that are Nigerians. They often, in their skits, talk about Buhari. So Buhari has been a laughing stock in Nigerian culture. But I hope his soul rest in peace. I haven't gotten the full news, so I don't know how he passed. But once again, I hope his soul rest in peace. He was a former president of Nigeria as an African from Liberia. I hope that his soul rest in peace. Nigeria, despite all of the flaws of Nigeria has been a beacon of hope for the rest of Africa. Nigeria has helped tremendously to make peace, to bring peace on the continent of Africa, especially in West Africa. Now, friends, this video which you're watching is about the Caribbean, and I want to apologize for deviating. This video is about Caribbean countries coming together in New York, in the United States, to talk about digital diplomacy. Of course, the video is under the title Jamaica. This is because the Jamaican Consulate in New York hosted Caribbean diplomats, CARICOM communities, to talk about digital diplomacy as the world is changing today. Now we are in a world where data harvesting, data processing, and so on is very interesting. It is the financial, it is the economic, it is the social, and the political topic and trends today in the world. And friends, we saw that and we experienced and we've come to accept that to become very interesting, especially given the coronavirus pandemic, which is still ongoing. And I mean ongoing because I have still not heard of the entire world, the international community, the United Nations, or the World Health Organization making a declaration that the coronavirus is finally over. I haven't heard that. Perhaps it has occurred, but I haven't. Now, I'm just one man, very busy, okay, and trying to grow this channel. I cannot hear or keep track on every news. Just the United States news alone. Donald Trump will do something. I will come out and make a video. The time it will take me to edit that video, process that video, and post that video. Donald Trump has done 50 other things that I cannot keep up with. There are so many topics of discussions and events which I could be talking about, which I cannot talk about. I am not able to talk about because I do not have the time. However, in the future, of course, I am going to work hard to get some assistance, get some people on my team, build a team to help me fetch the news, to help me shoot the video, and also process or edit the videos. In this case, once I build a team, I am going to be able to make the videos fast and constant. Friends, once again, I have to apologize for deviating. But the Caribbean community under CARICOM, led by Jamaica and also Trinidad and Tobago, in New York, in the Jamaican Consulate, hosted Caribbean diplomats to talk about digital diplomacy. We saw that during the coronavirus pandemic when everything shut down. Everyone had to go online to learn. In the United States, in Europe, in Asia, and also in prominent, rich, and powerful countries that could afford it, kids could stay home and learn from home. Kids had access to computers. Their government, their schools, and so on provided computers for them. However, in places such as Africa, parts of South Asia, the Middle East, Latin America, the Caribbean, many kids could either not go to school or that families and countries and people risk it because that's all they had. They still went to school or they did not have the means to learn online. That was even the case in Africa, in West Africa, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, and so on. During the Ebola pandemic, school was shut down completely. No kids could go to school. People couldn't go out. As a result, many students, or all of the students in these countries, their educations were basically interrupted and they basically fell back. This to an extent, I remember I was doing a project in Africa when the coronavirus started and it began to increase, rapidly expanding. I called my folks and I told them, let's end the project. However, the workers saying, no, they are not going to end it. They stated that they fought Ebola, they lived on the Ebola, and they did not die. Therefore, they are going to fight coronavirus, they are going to live and work on the coronavirus. Countries in Africa and elsewhere that are not part of the white West, the conceptual West, and the rich and powerful countries have no choice. They had to continue to exist, to live with the virus. Just imagine that being the case as diplomats, when you couldn't go out there and meet your colleagues, your counterparts, to hammer businesses of your respective countries. You have to do that online. The world today is data-driven, so governments and associations and institutions, countries, need to begin to think digitally. Hence, it does make sense for Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and CARICOM, the Caribbean community, to come together to begin to talk about digital diplomacy. Also, according to what members were saying and dignitaries at the meeting, that their diplomats need to be able to learn. They need to learn the digital technologies and also how to exist in the digital space. That's a very interesting. It's fascinating. It is the true thing and good thing that has to be done. However, my question is, what are the Caribbean countries doing to create, basically funding the tech-savvy Caribbean citizens, these young men and women, to establish a Caribbean-based social media structure, social media platform, which the Caribbean continue to dominate and also to control. And I'm saying this because we are in a world where as much as data is interesting, information is vastly interesting. And the West, most especially the United States and Europe, controls information. So it is nice and sensible to talk about digital diplomacy when you do not control the digital space on which you conduct your diplomacy, then that's a problem. And that perhaps is the same thing for Africa, and Africa needs to talk about this. Africa, time after time, is being put in its place and being put on notice that it has fallen behind tremendously, significantly, and that it doesn't control anything. Recently, sometime this year, I think it was during the early phases or the early time of this year, there was a situation between Nigeria and Meta where Nigerian government was punishing Meta, fining Meta for some things. I think it was supposed to be over $225 million or so, if I can remember. And Meta basically threatens to leave Nigeria, which is tremendously a bad thing for Nigeria had it happened. This, my friend, is because if Facebook leaves Nigeria or any country, it basically an international, a domestic information and communication nightmare for that country. Everybody is using Facebook. Think of what Africans are using today to make call. WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a big deal. I remember when Africans have to buy a call card, $5 for about 10, 20 minutes. You make the call, the phone ring 3, 4, 5 times. Just the ringing alone had burned about 10 minutes of your time. So friends, just imagine if Meta, which is said to own WhatsApp today, if Meta withdraw from Nigeria or from any country, it's an information nightmare. It's a communication nightmare for that country. This is why I'm asking. It is not enough to talk, to host a talk of diplomat, a talk on digital diplomacy. What I believe is interesting is going the China route. It's owning your own platform, creating your own information platform, your own technological platform, your own social media platform. When you own and control such platform, you are the boss of your own information. You are the boss of your own story, the historians that will tell your own story. You do not have to worry about an outside information, an outside entity, shutting down information or a platform in your country, which in this case makes things hard for your country and your people. Now, big up to Jamaica for hosting Caribbean diplomats. Big up to the CARICOM community, the Caribbean community. All of the countries in the Caribbean, they are island countries. But the Caribbean is a massive place. The Caribbean has about 40 million people. Haiti, Dominican Republic, and Cuba alone, all 3 countries have about 11 million people each. And the rest basically spread out throughout the Caribbean, the rest of the population. So the Caribbean has a good sized population where they can create and host and control their own social media and communication platform, which in this case is a means to maintain, to secure, and to promote their own sovereignty, digital sovereignty. Now friends, please tell me what you think, and I really want to know what you think. But friends, I am going to end here. I want to thank you for being a member of the Echoing Voice community, my friends. But most especially and most importantly, or important, I want to thank you a lot for watching the Echoing Voice. Peace, my friends. Peace.